How long is the rehab process?
I'm wearing
Yeah,
this
sure.
right now. Yeah. There was really no other choice if I had to continue playing.
Endoscopic surgery. So now, how big is the hole? Surgeon, please record this, and then I'm gonna show it to my wife/family, and then that will get you out of it.
Sport is healthy, but elite sports is not healthy at all. It comes with a price. It's not all players who are feeling very comfortable with having fans knocking on their door or,
Have you had that, like fans knock on your door?
yeah, I had one incident with that.
I can feel
Avocado
that.
on the oatmeal.
Yeah.
Bro,
Powder and oatmeal.
you gotta be kidding me. Little bit of a curveball there. I'm not sure I can continue the podcast.
Hey Victor, welcome back. I guess for us, this is a slightly different setup for us than usual. How are you feeling?
Hey CK, yeah, I'm doing okay. Obviously, I would have loved to be playing and competing. However, right now, as many of our listeners maybe already know, I went through like an endoscopic surgery in my back. So right now I'm doing rehab. Can't do as much as I'm used to, but that's just how it is. It's a part of life as an athlete. So how about you? How are you doing?
Yeah, it's not bad actually. Happy to be home for a little bit. I think quarter one has involved a lot of traveling. Happy to just be back home, catching up with lots of different stuff, lots of
Great.
different work. Trying to get new projects off the ground, trying to finish off some projects. Yeah, so not too bad.
That sounds
So in
good.
this episode, obviously, we will be talking about a lot about your injury. This is episode 6, so it should come out just after Sudirman Cup as well. And you mentioned endoscopic surgery. What does that mean?
That means like, they go in with a very, very little, tube, with like a microscope and a camera and stuff like that. And then they can go in and they can remove the herniation I had in my disc. My issue was that I had a lot of nerve compression, from my back, the L4, L5 area going down my left leg. So for a long time, and we also touched on it before the Olympics, I had a lot of pain, and I got an injection before the Olympics, which sort of made me able to play the Olympics. And then it's just been an ongoing issue. So basically, they went in, they removed the herniation. Luckily, I had a very, very good surgeon in Germany, in Lindau, in Germany, where the surgery was done, and it went good. And now I'm in week 3 right now, and it feels pretty good. So I'm optimistic.
Okay, so going back a little bit. So you mentioned that this has happened before the Olympics. How
Yeah,
how far ahead? How far a bit ahead are we talking about? So we're currently in April, May 2025. When did this happen? Like, take me back.
like obviously I'm a pretty tall athlete, and during my career I have had periods where my back has been hurting a little bit, which is fine. However, since in 2018 I had one incident where I was doing like a back squat, and my back sort of just gave up on me. And after
Oh,
that, I had quite a bit of nerve pain down my left leg, because of the disc was pressing on the nerve. But that nerve compression like went away by itself. And then I've had quite a bit of years where I didn't have any back pain whatsoever. However, leading up to the Olympics, I had very bad back pain, especially after Singapore Open. I had to withdraw in my semifinal against Li Shifang at that point. And I wasn't really sure I could compete at the Olympics because I had so much back pain. But I got an injection in my back, and that took away the pain. However, after the Olympics, it came back, and this time with a lot of nerve pain going down my left leg, and it simply wouldn't go away. So for a long time, I was competing with crazy pain and unable to move probably. So when I look at my matches from post-Olympics, I can see that I'm not at all, and I have just been feeling very bad on court. So in
how do
order
you
to get
manage that
back,
process? How do you manage that process? So obviously, when you say that you're feeling bad on court, like, I mean, do you learn to cope with the pain? But then it's the kind of sharp pain. I'm assuming, not the dull pain, like say from like muscle aches or stuff like that. How can you describe it?
it's like somebody sitting with a little knife in your glute every single time you do the twist and turning and landings.
Oh,
So I've been eating a lot of painkillers and just trying to cope with the pain. especially doing India Open, I had so much pain in my back and my left leg. So I'm not
India
really
Open this
sure.
year.
Yeah, I'm not really sure how I managed to win that tournament. But that being said, I think that from what I can hear from other people who have done the surgery, if I do it well, the rehab, and I make sure not to overdo it, then there's hopefully good years ahead of me in regards to this injury. So, have you had any similar injuries yourself, CK, or you haven't had really any back pain?
No, no, funny you ask. Last whole week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I was done. I had a match. I had a league match on Monday. I trained a little bit on Saturday, and then I had a league match on Monday. And I think I did some. I may have overextended, or I might have done too much to it. So Monday night, I came back from the league match. I was in bits. I was
Okay.
completely immobile. I cannot bend down. Like I completely. I have to. I'm sitting straight like a stick. Like for
Mm.
guys and girls, if you're watching, I'm literally like a stick, and by Tuesday morning, oh my God, like sneezing, when there's a term, you blow your back
Yeah.
out by sneezing. I
Yeah.
understood that firsthand.
Yeah.
I was in complete agony. I think complete agony is probably an understatement. And I had another match on later in the week, and I had to message the captain and say, I'm really, really sorry. I don't like to do this, but I'm in complete agony and I cannot
Yeah.
move, cannot bend down to pick up wearing my socks, putting my pants on.
Yeah.
That was very hard.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So, but yeah, so I think, but it might have been a different pain. It was a nerve pain for me, but it was muscle pain. I think, yeah, just one of the two completely seized up. It felt a lot better after some massage, but then, yeah, like back pain is no joke, and the older you get, the more easily it happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then, I mean, luckily mine went away 3-4 days in.
Yeah.
Yours, how long is the rehab process?
Like this process, it's to be on the safe side. The surgeon said it could be up to 6 months. That's a long time in my head, I think. So I'm shooting for four to six. However, obviously, I hope I can be back sooner. And we will see how it goes. I take one day at a time. I just make sure to do everything right every single day. And then we see what happens. It will at least be 3+ months, before
What
I'm back on the competition.
what does doing everything right means?
Like it means doing what the doctors prescribe basically, but just making sure that you do as much as you probably can
So what
within.
does that mean? Is it like exercises or diet or
It
what is
means
it?
just it means like when you're into a rehab, and I actually made a little LinkedIn post yesterday actually where I was talking about just the rehab process, and you have to. It can be very easy to as an athlete, because when you're out of the game and it's a long time, then you're such a habit of you're such a creature of habit that you will. We're used to waking up, and then we know we have to go for training 2 hours later, right? So basically, you wake up, you have breakfast, you go for training, you come back, you prepare for the next training. Now, when you're out of the game, like I am right now, everything is up in the air, right? And for me, it's so important during these periods that I have a daily routine. Like I will try to make it as similar as my usual routine as possible. The only thing that has changed has basically been the exercises and the things I can do on court. I'm still waking up, going out to NAS where I do my skill training right now. Then I see the physio, and I basically just try to keep as normal as routine as possible and eat
Mm,
probably. My diet will change obviously also with my training load being so low.
mm.
So getting into a rhythm and gaining momentum by doing the right things has been so important for me here the first 2 weeks, because it can be easy to just go down the very negative path of just thinking everything is shit, right? So
Yep, 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 yep. And then so is there like exercise? So for example, will the doctor say, look, you cannot bend down? Because obviously we see you wearing a back harness, back strap, right?
yeah, I'm
Show,
wearing
yeah,
it
show.
right now. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I can't. Are limitations to what I can do, especially like from week 1 to 4, for example. I can't bend down too much. I can't lift heavy things and all that kind of thing. The reason being there is a risk of having, this pain again, and
Relapse.
that the hernia, yeah, relapse, and we don't want that for sure. So, how about you? What are you doing now? Are you better or?
Yeah. I'm better now. I can bend down again, as you
If
can
you
see.
if you if you want, I can write BWF to see if you can take my spot in the next tournaments. If you want.
I'm not sure I'll get you. I'll get you good points though. I'm not sure
It's
I'll get you
okay.
good points.
If you
Well,
throw on an Axelsen shirt and jump on court, I don't think people will see the difference.
yeah. Well, I might need a smaller one. The last time I looked at your shirts, you're maybe about two sizes too big for
Eh,
me.
it's okay. You can use Vegas. She also got she got all the clothing from my own from my own collection, so you can
Yeah.
jump on that one.
Yeah, and it still says Axelson behind, right? So yes, so absolutely, we will do. Well, I'm not sure how tall Vega is right now. I've not seen him for a little while, but then yeah, like if we're the same size, then I'm very tiny.
Vega is pretty tall by now, but she still has some way to grow before she's similar to you. But jokes aside, it's I think it will be fine, and I'm feeling pretty positive with everything.
So the target is 4 to 6 months, and then endoscopic surgery. So I always hear that endoscopic surgery. Now, how big is the hole? Like, is it 1 centimeter, half a centimeter?
Yeah, it's around 1.5 centimeter or something. Very small.
Okay. And then
Yeah.
so L4, L5 on the lower side. Is it left, right? Or
The nerve compression was mainly on the left side.
okay. And so how did you so coming off the Olympics, so I'm assuming this is coming off the Olympics, and then you go, okay, pain is quite bad. Like this is managing day to day. When was that decision to go, right, okay, we need specialist medical attention. Let's go see some doctors, and then decide on which doctors. So obviously I'm assuming you have been with this surgeon for a while now, or you might have known him, her. How what was that process?
I've actually had several scans done on my back during my career because I've had issues with it in the past. However, this kind of pain was so severe that there was really no other choice than to get this minor surgery done for me if I had to continue playing. It was basically either retire or get the surgery done. So there was no question that I would go for the surgery because it is with minimal risk, even though there's always risk, but it's a minimal risk
Calculated.
on this. Yeah, it is. It was well worth it. And obviously, as an athlete, you want to avoid surgery, but also sport is healthy, but elite sports is not healthy at all. It comes with a price, and this will be my third surgery. I've had both my ankles. I've done similar surgery, and that's just how it is. And my surgeon said, like, basically, this is the options you have. Maybe it will go away by itself, but it can take years, months. So yeah, I was pretty sure that it was the right way to go, and it feels like it also.
The right thing to do. And also, I think a good, I guess, you cannot ask for timing, but then as per timing goes, 1 year, the next year after the Olympics, I guess it's the best thing to do. No,
Yeah, it
if
is.
there is this.
Look, yeah, looking in, I won 2 Olympic goals and I won everything that I wanted to win, and I still want to continue.
Mm,
By now, it was a good time for me to do this, and I really didn't have any choice because in All
mm.
England I had so much pain. It was crazy, and it wasn't even fun playing. So I will never go on court feeling like that again. So I'm
Did
pretty.
did the experience at the All England fast forward this surgery, or I mean, you
I
told me
knew, I knew,
previously it was planned. Yeah.
yeah, I knew it was planned, but I knew after the All England that there was no way I'm gonna step on court again feeling like this. So, but again, right now I feel pretty good with everything. The nerve pain is gone. Obviously, I'm pretty stiff in my back right now, as you can see.
Mm, mm.
So you can probably win against me right now in a men's singles, but hopefully within the next few months we will be back to normal.
Oh yes. Well, I mean, I don't know if you've seen the video that I did with Ken Yu previously. So I had a video YouTube video that says I beat Lo Ken Yu. He was very gracious to spend so much time with me. We met in Penang, and then obviously he played right-handed as usual first, and then I told him, look, now you need to play left-handed, and I play right-handed.
Great.
And then so that's how I managed to get my win. So that's one win off a world champion. So maybe now I need to try and take on the Olympic champion,
Yeah,
with him
you should.
being slightly immobile.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, that sounds like a good idea for you. Yeah.
Yeah. So
So what is
okay.
what are your like talk now we have a lot of talks about injuries and stuff like that. Like what are your plans
Yeah.
in for the next coming months? Are you going to travel to the Sudirman Cup as well?
No, so whilst we're recording this, Sudirman Cup is going to be playing next week, the week after. No, next week, sorry. But no, so I haven't been able to go to China for a BWF accredited event yet. So the only time I've been to China for a professional badminton tournament was the King's Cup. So yeah, so I'm because I hear that China events in China are completely different. Scale, the presentation of it, and also the fans, how crazy they are. I think I've experienced fans in Malaysia, how passionate they are. Fans in Indonesia, so much love. China, it's a completely different story. What do you think?
Yeah, I think always playing tournaments in China is great. You know, the warm up setup, the tournament setup, everything is just good. Good hotels. I think China they really do a good job when it comes to taking care of the players at tournaments and stuff like that. So
Hmm.
yeah, well, it'll be good for you to go there and
One
do
day.
some work. So hopefully
Yeah.
before not too long.
What about in terms of players and media exposure? So obviously, we've just recently come off the Badminton Asian Championships, and we saw on Instagram that Chiharu Shida, a Japanese ladies player, said that the fans can get overbearing sometimes, too much. Have you felt that yourself? Because obviously, I hear some of the players
Uh,
also say that.
I have, especially during the World Tour finals last time in Hangzhou when I was playing, and won, it, not last year but the year before, and I had some incidents where basically the problem is that of course, we really appreciate the support from the fans, but the fans will know which hotels we're staying at, and when we play, they don't block the entire hotel, obviously, right? Because
Mm.
there's not the money and we're not enough players and all the kind of stuff. So the fans will book the same hotel as the
As you
players.
guys do. Okay.
Yeah, and then they will basically just float around the elevators, and then try to find the players and stuff like that. And I would personally love to spend some time with the fans when you meet them, either before you jump on the bus or at the stadium and stuff like that. But when you are at the hotel, that should be a safe haven for the players. We shouldn't have fans standing in front of your hotel room, or even, when you have breakfast and stuff like that. That should be the quiet time for the athletes. And that's a problem right now in China, is that sometimes the security and the safety, even though that nothing has happened, which has been like a big safety concern, but still, it's not all players who are feeling very comfortable with having fans knocking on their door, or
Have you had that, like fans knock on your door?
yeah, I had one incident
Oh,
with that. So it's not that it shouldn't be like that, and obviously both the organizers and BWF needs to take this very seriously, because we have had quite a few incidences now, also with Watanabe last year, where he went out and said the same. And yeah, we should respect the players' privacy.
okay. Yeah, because I in Malaysia, so Malaysia Open, I was in the same hotel as the
Yeah,
players are, and you can see the amount of fans milling around, and yes, some fans do also stay in the hotel because they also travel in to actually watch the event, and then yeah, most I would say 99.9% are really 99.99 maybe even more are absolutely fine. It's the odd few ones out that actually yeah
but
when they knock on your door it's too much.
it, yeah, it's no problem with, as I said, if we're at breakfast, after you have eaten breakfast, take a few pictures with the fans, sign pictures and stuff like that
Yeah.
in the lobby. That's fine. It's more in the middle of breakfast coming over to ask for pictures, um, knocking on the doors. That's a total no-no, right?
Yeah,
But the players are there to perform, and when they are at the hotel,
they need
you
to be
know,
locked in.
we need to be locked in. Maybe we are thinking about the match we have to play later and stuff. And obviously, we always have time if we're in the lobby and we're going away from breakfast to take a picture and stuff. I always do that if I have the time.
Yeah.
But when you're eating, when you're having meeting with your coaches in the hotel lobby, or if you're, at your room, you should have your privacy. And
Yeah.
that's how I see it.
Yeah. And then last time round in Indonesia, the last time I saw you at a at the breakfast area was you was with your family. So like you had PK, you had Vega, Aya, Natalia, everyone's
Yeah,
around, and then yeah. So like for us, we never ever go close to players. Like maybe there's like if our eyes meet, we just have a nod and then just go. You know, like everyone needs their own little zone, little bubble,
yeah,
and then just go for it. Yeah.
yeah.
So I mean, I do have a very nice breakfast story for you, actually. So this was in Indonesia, open last year, a game in the same players' hotel, and me and Kim Won Ho. Kim Won Ho, both of us went to breakfast at about the same time, and then reception at the breakfast looked at us, and then there was no tables completely, and there was one table for two, and he asked both of
Mm.
us, would you be happy to share? I was like, I mean, I don't mind if he doesn't mind. And then
Yeah, yeah.
so we sat across each other having
Nice.
breakfast, and
That's great.
then yeah, and then when he wanted to go, it was so sweet of him. Like, so he doesn't speak much English at that point, and then so he typed into his phone like a Google translator and said, "Is it okay if I leave first?" I was like, "Dude, why are you asking? Just go." You know, it's just too nice.
No.
Yeah, go.
That's great. That's great. Yeah, the players are often, even though some players are very shy, and maybe it comes off to some people a bit arrogant, but 99% of the players are actually very, very friendly and super sweet. So yeah, I'm not surprised you had
Yeah.
that experience.
Talking about breakfast, who is your favorite player coach to have breakfast with, or you prefer breakfast alone with family
To
locked
be
in?
honest, to be honest, I usually have breakfast just alone or with the family. When I'm in tournaments and stuff like that, I'm a pretty
Room
I'm
service.
a yeah, rooms not room service for breakfast, but I stay 85% of the time on if I'm not in the gym or at the breakfast having a few eggs, I'm at the room.
Mm,
So I don't usually socialize that much when I'm out playing. I
yep.
usually stick a lot to myself and focus on the task at hand. And then often I have the family with me or I go out with my coach I have there. So my favorite people are either my family or my coach or my physio
Mm,
or whoever I have with me.
mm. And then does Vega and Aya, so when they're on tour with you with Natalia, do they know that okay, this is tournament week, Daddy needs to perform? Do we annoy him less or do we annoy him more?
Uh,
As a 2-year-old, I
well,
don't think they care.
yeah, no, yeah, to be honest, they can't really still understand what it is. Vega, she understands that I have to play badminton and stuff. But for
Mm,
me, especially when we're out on tour for a long period of time, like 3 weeks, for example, it's a long time to be alone. So it's great
mm,
for me to have the family there and to get my thoughts on other things than badminton.
mm.
Even though I can't jump around the pool and spend tons of energy, it's still good to have that, to have the family around you so you can have a little bit of, different thoughts in your head other than a shuttlecock and your next match. So
Yeah. So now that you're back home, in terms of recovery, does that mean you cannot do certain things? I see you're able to go out for walks and stuff like that. So that's okay. Is there anything that you cannot do with the kids without the kids?
yeah, I can't obviously
You
throw
can't
them
pick them
around
up.
in the pool. Yeah, I can't pick them
Yeah.
up, all that kind of stuff. So when they have to do something they don't want to do, I have to verbally try to convince them that we have to do this, rather than carrying them around, which is very tough because the 4-year-old she thinks she knows best. However, it actually it's fine. We have some family here right now also, and the good thing about being injured is that I don't have a ton of traveling I have to do, so I can actually spend more time with them. I can be with them in the afternoons, and yeah, there's nothing which is so bad that it's not good for something else, and that's one of the positives about doing rehab is that I have tons of time with the family.
That also gets you out of housework as well, I'm assuming. You don't have to do housework.
Unfortunately, I can't do anything that comes close to any tidying up or anything or cleaning. So the surgeon actually said that's the worst thing you can do. That's to clean. So
For
I
real?
have to. No, no, no. Just kidding.
I
So
see. If I was you, I would go, Surgeon, please record this, and then I'm going to show it to my wife slash family, and then that would get you out of it. You can
I
get an
will.
extra tip. Because I wanted to ask, how is it? How come you ended up in Germany
It was
for
actually.
surgery?
It was actually because my good friend Morten, who was at Budolfi Private Hospital in Denmark, he said that he and many surgeons they usually don't do surgery in friends and family because it's way easier for them to actually do the to do the rehab and do the sparring with you then, because there's just something if you do surgery on your friends and family, that's for some reason they don't want to do that because the person means a lot to you, I guess. There's something there. So that's why I ended up in Germany with the person that he thought would be the best for the job.
Okay.
Did you
Yeah.
did you have any
yeah.
did you have any surgery done?
No, nothing invasive so far. So I think I've been quite lucky. So no major surgery injury needed yet. But I was out for 2 years with my shoulder. So I had a rotator cuff, 2 out of the 4 rotator cuffs in my playing shoulder. It was damaged. It happened during a match, and then I think my shoulder it also dislocated during. So I was playing doubles. I remember I was receiving serve. I was flicked. I was flick served. I went out and then tried to smash, and then my shoulder came off immediately at that point in time, and then just went back in.
Shit.
And then
Shit.
yeah, me not having dislocated a shoulder before, never felt that kind of pain before, and then I was in shock for a little bit. I just went cold, like halfway through the point, and then obviously I was just grabbing my shoulder, walk around a little bit, and then I told my partner. So we were one set up. We were 16. We were 16 already, and then the other pair was quite far away. And so I said to my partner, "Okay, I don't know what it is. It's painful, but it went in. So let's try again." And then got flicked again. Tried, and then it came out again. And then my arm was just completely dead, just dead arm on the side. Yeah. And then we lost that match in.
Yeah. It's pretty hard. It's pretty hard if you can't use your arm and you play badminton. So
no, we tried playing mixed for a little bit. I stayed at the front. I was quite useless at playing mixed, I guess, at that point, being at the front. So we lost that, and so that was quite painful, because for me that was when I was in my last year of university, and that was like a university, like a national event at university level in the UK. And then so we were hoping to do quite well. We prepared, but then so that was a bit disappointing. But then after that, I went to the hospital the next day, and then it was diagnosed that, because we didn't go to a sports specific hospital. But yeah, I went to the hospital, and then I decided to not do a scan. I think after they did some tests, and they said, okay, this is what you need to do. But because it wasn't a sports specific treatment, it was more basic, it was more normal, and then in the end it never went back to how it was usually. And then in 2016, 2017, that was the period. It happened in 2015, and then 2016, 2017 I wasn't able to play. So like, I cannot lift my shoulder, I cannot clear, I cannot smash.
But when things like this happen, you need to go through like a stability and strength routine and rehab for that shoulder, but you didn't.
Yes, so I only did the normal one, whatever the physio advised at that point in time. So I never really then go and see an MSK specialist or anything like that. It was until after that it was maybe after I came back from China one period, and then I went and saw someone, and he immediately said, "Look, CK, your scapula has drooped 1 inch. That's why everything is catching. Like, you cannot turn. There's no rotation, and." Yeah, it's pinging. Everything is, the nerve is squeezed, and the bone is mashing. So that's why you can't.
Yeah.
And then so he set me onto the rehab, and then within that, everything's now back together, and hence I can actually do that now.
Okay, great.
Previously, I can't even do anything. But then so I was out for 2 years with constant pain. I wanted to play, but then every time I played, anything underarm would be great, but then anything above is completely bad. So I think, as an advice, if you have issues, I get a lot of comments like that on Instagram and on YouTube. Go sort it out before you even try playing.
Yeah. And badminton is such a hard sport, and as we also talked about in one of the other podcasts, is that if you're not used to the load, you're not used to playing and stuff like that, and you just go 120%, like, the risk of injury is so high. So if you play them more than twice a week, you really have to do, and everybody should do, some kind of stability and strength exercises in the gym anyway. So because the risk of injury is high.
It is incredibly high. Have you had any shoulder injuries so far? Because for badminton, it's more shoulder, ankles, and legs.
Yeah, knock on wood, I haven't had any issues with my shoulders at all, actually. So it has
Okay.
mainly been my back and my ankles, but my shoulders has never been an issue.
Okay. Well, let's keep it that way. Let's make sure we keep it that way, and then keep showing them guns because
Yeah, yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that.
yeah,
I'll do.
keep
I'll
showing them
keep.
guns.
I will keep. I will see if I during my rehab period I can up my bicep training a little bit. So I will come back with massive guns. It would probably fit. It would fit the no sleeve shirts as well. So
Definitely should. So we're back a little bit. So I want to talk about your diet.
yes,
What can you eat? What cannot you eat whilst you're doing rehab? What is your favorite meal actually? What is your favorite food?
I don't really have any favorite food. I really enjoy Asian food actually, but more like I enjoy Japanese. Japanese fusion, you can maybe call it or whatever. Like I love sashimi with rice. I love nigiri. I
Oh,
love
so you have sashimi.
yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah. So
that's
I
amazing.
love Japanese food, and even though it sometimes to some people it can sound a little bit bland and simple, but I really enjoy Japanese foods. So coming back to my diet, I need to make a few changes here during my rehab. Obviously, I need all the vitamins and minerals and all the macronutrients I need to recover in the best way possible. However, there is also some caloric situation I need to address because obviously my training load isn't as high as it usually is. So
Yeah.
what I usually do here during the rehab period is that I will still do some cardio exercise, even though it's not as much as I usually do. But I am still as active as I possibly can, so I still need a certain amount of calories, especially protein. I need to make sure that I'm hitting, the right amount of protein because I don't want to lose too much muscle mass. So
Yeah.
my diet is pretty much circled around high protein, moderate fat, and then the carbohydrates is usually depending on how active I am on the given day. And those carbohydrates will be around my cardio training. So if I go for a longer walk or if I go on the bike or do something like that, then my carbohydrates will be before and after that. So,
Okay. So you can go on the bike and so you can go on a stationary bike and you can ride for however long you need.
but nothing really worth.
No sprints.
Yeah, no sprints and stuff like that. But obviously, I can still do a longer bike or go for a longer uphill run on the treadmill and stuff like that. So that's basically what I can do. But I try to eat very healthy, a lot of vegetables, a lot of fruits, and good quality protein. And then obviously, I don't need to be in tip top low fat, fat mass right now. So sometimes I can go out and have a normal dinner at a good restaurant during my rehab period, so it doesn't become too bland and too boring and too boring. So that's basically
Are
how I
you a
do.
cooking person?
No,
You cannot cook to save life?
I can cook simple dishes, but when I was single and I was young and I was playing, I basically lived off oatmeal and then just a wok dish with rice and chicken and vegetables and oatmeal again and eggs. So
Okay.
it's not like I don't really like to cook at this point in my life. It just needs to be convenient and healthy. So I also have like a meal
Yeah.
delivery company who every second day here during my rehab they come with fixed meals for me for my lunch and my dinner. So I know that I have a
Okay.
healthy option in the fridge.
Okay. That's perfectly cool. I think
What
maybe
what?
this is also why we can be friends. I
Yeah,
like oatmeal as well, so I've been
yeah.
having oatmeal every single day since I was in primary school.
Oh, amazing. Yeah. Well, we're the same like that. So that's great
Yeah.
to know that you're one of us, one of the.
Yeah. But do you like it thick and heavy or do you like it watery? I like it a bit more loose.
I like it as thick as possible. It has to be so thick that it's a brick in my stomach when I'm done eating it because otherwise I'm not full. I will just need more. So I always
Is
make it.
it? Okay.
I make it very very thick, and then
Okay.
I always put like either I make like a sludge out of protein powder and I put it on top, or
Okay.
I have like a high protein Greek yogurt, like low fat Greek yogurt with vanilla taste or whatever, and I put it on top.
Okay. So this is where we differ slightly. So I like mine more watery than not nowadays. When I was growing up, I have it like so. My granddad and my mum and dad would do it like yours, thick like a brick, and
Mm.
then they would trick me to eating it by putting sugar on it. Like they would sprinkle sugar on it.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Exactly.
Uh,
Well,
but but yeah. But nowadays I don't do that. I put it in the microwave, but then I put berries every day, like so blueberries, raspberries, avocados in. Yeah. So and then I give them
avocado
about
on the oatmeal,
yeah yeah yeah
bro.
avocado and oatmeal.
Hey, like, you gotta be kidding me. You're not putting avocado on your oatmeal.
Avocados and oatmeal. Avocados or mangoes, and then berries. Phew, game changer.
Please send me a picture of your oatmeal with avocado on top.
Yeah. Okay, I will do. I will do. I will do. I've been saving one because yeah, we have one in the bowl that is not perfect yet. Yes, it will come next few days. You will get a photo.
If there's any of our listeners who are putting avocado on oatmeal, let's have a bet on that. I will say that there is not another person who eats avocado on their oatmeal. I've never heard about that, and I've seen a lot of weird food stuff, but I've never heard about that.
Here's one better. I had a friend who puts salmon inside her oatmeal.
Salmon.
Yeah.
That's just disgusting. I'm sorry to say. Then put it in. Then
So
put it in rice. Then I get that. It's a
yeah,
grain or whatever. That's fine. But oats. Okay. Well,
hers
we
is
learned
savory
something.
oatmeal.
Yeah. Well, maybe I give it
Yeah.
a try with the avocado. Let's see.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Avocado, mango, plah. I guarantee you it's good.
But it's healthy fats though. So I guess with the avocado at least, right? So, but it doesn't taste.
Yep.
You don't have a lot of
If you don't
taste.
like avocado, maybe. Yeah, no. Yeah, there's not a lot of taste going on in there. So that's why I think I cut it with the berries or the mango as well, just to make it a little bit sharper, sweeter,
Okay.
as well. So,
Great.
but
Well,
okay, I will send you a photo. I'll send you a photo.
there was a little bit of a curveball there. I'm not sure I can continue the podcast. Anyways,
Okay, then in terms of diet, do you enjoy soft drinks? Do you enjoy wine? I'm assuming you don't drink any alcohol or little, very little.
very, very little. It's very seldom I go out drinking. I will have a Coke Zero from time to time, but it's not something that I could easily live without it. I never drink really soft drinks besides when I'm on court and I need the electrolytes and I need the calories and the carbohydrates when I'm on court. So there is times during tournament, for example, I'm not a big eater leading up to an evening match because I don't want to eat too much leading up to the match. So sometimes when you come home from a very late evening match, you're such in a calorie deficit that I sometimes need to go and eat more unhealthier foods like gummy bears or, go have something very calorie dense simply just to get, more calories. A good example is peanut butter. Like sometimes if I'm in a tournament week, I will have peanut butter on my oatmeal if I know that I didn't have enough to eat the day before, just to get some
Yeah.
some more calories in. And natural peanut butter with nothing, with not a lot of added sugars and unhealthy fats. That actually a pretty decent source of fats and some good calories.
Yeah, I think they go PB&J sandwich, right? Like traditionally more North American side, but
Yeah, yeah,
they carry a huge amount of calories in there.
yeah, they do.
Um, Quick one on oatmeal. How much oatmeal do you have a week? I go through a kilo a week.
I don't think you can. When I'm in tournament week sometimes, and if I'm in a place where I don't really can find, I would easily have like around 300 grams of oatmeal per day.
Per day. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
like three
Okay. Yeah,
of raw weight, right? So we're probably the same like that.
yeah, yeah.
Usually for my breakfast, I will always have like 125 grams in the morning, cooked,
Yeah.
to oatmeal, and then maybe I will have
Yeah.
something on my afternoon snack before my. So yeah, I would say around 200 grams per day is probably a good estimate.
200. Yeah. Do you do milk with milk or straight water?
Straight water usually with salt and a little bit of salt added to it.
Okay. So yeah. So I try and do it with milk, but then some days I go with like oat milk on oats.
Oat milk
So
on. Okay,
yeah.
I thought you said goat milk.
No. So normal milk, most days normal milk, and then oat milk on oats. So yeah.
I would say if you went and told me that you're doing goat milk in your oatmeal with avocado on top, we couldn't be friends anymore.
I've actually never tried that. Maybe I will try it, and then I can tell you how it goes.
Yeah,
Okay.
send me a
And
picture.
then, do you have a favorite fish that you like?
I really like salmon. I always enjoy having salmon. Again, very healthy source of fats and good protein and easy to find almost everywhere. So I very much enjoy salmon. What about you?
Just not in oatmeal, but yeah,
No, exactly. How
yeah,
about yourself?
I like salmon. Yeah, I like salmon. I really love seafood. I think white fish, oily fish. Yeah, sea bass, salmon, halibut.
But
I like seafood.
but also there is no Asian person on the planet who doesn't enjoy seafood.
That's actually a good call. I think so. You are correct.
I
A lot of
always-
European friends do not like seafood.
I always feel like when you're out playing in Asia and stuff, if there is like at the hotel buffet, there is like a seafood evening, especially with crab, like,
Yes. Yes.
you will just see people having those crazy tables with, several crab legs all over. And I never understood that you want to work for your own food, right? Like I never, when I need to eat, I just need to have the food and I need to eat it. I don't need a lot of bones. I don't want to crack open a crab leg and stuff like that. I just need to be able to eat. But for some reason,
You don't want to work for it.
I'm not gonna work. I'm not gonna work for my food like that. I'm not like that.
Yeah, actually, we grew up. So as a family, my mom and dad and me and my brothers. So we actually go every weekend to a hotel, and they have a seafood, like a Japanese seafood buffet, where again, like you said, they have all the sushis, and then they have the crab, and then they have the prawns. They have all the seafood there, and then I think that's also where we kind of learned how to eat and how to work through these crustaceans. Crabs, lobsters, prawns, clams. I know how to eat them all, but then again, it's a different skill.
That's good. If we go out to eat at a buffet, you will have all the crab for yourself. So that's good.
But then actually, it's quite hard going out with someone else, and then you trying to smash crab, and then yeah, it's not a professional look. It has to be
Yeah.
people that know what's happening.
Yeah.
So do you enjoy hot pot as well? I'm gonna move on to another food topic. Do you enjoy hot pot? Do you know what hot pot is?
Yeah, I do. I have had several times, especially in Asia. I don't like it too spicy. I enjoy hot pot, but I don't.
Yes.
It's not necessarily something I'm like, we have to go have hot pot. Again, it's the same thing.
Okay.
I don't want to cook my own food when I go out to eat.
So
Really,
Korean barbecue's a no-go. Hot pot's a no-go.
exactly. I basically just want. I want to order a dish and I want to I want to have it on a plate and I want to eat. I don't want to. I don't want to cook or work for my food, but that's just me. Like, I'm probably different that way.
Do you want it like fast, or like are you happy to just sit and chill for a little bit whilst it's doing its thing?
I'm usually pretty hungry all the time, so I have a tendency to eat too fast, but I should eat slower.
Okay. Wow. Okay. That's because a lot of European friends, like you said, don't like seafood, and then again they struggle with the concept of cooking on the table whilst you're in a restaurant.
Also, the Chinese, way, where you have the round table and you spin it around and stuff. Yeah, you're always watching the other guys if they take the last piece of good meat, right?
No, you got to go in first, right? In it to win it.
In it to win it.
Just send it
I don't
first.
care who's around that table. I don't care who's around that table. I'm getting that protein.
Yeah. And so, okay, so talking about protein, what is your favorite protein? Beef, chicken, pork? What is it? Or
I would say I probably
goat.
Goat. No, I like chicken. A good piece of lamb I also enjoy. But chicken and salmon and lamb is probably my three favorites. Of course, I enjoy a big steak, but if it has to be something I eat on the regular, it will probably be chicken or fish.
Any particular fish besides salmon? Mainly oily fish. I guess oily fish is easier as well, yeah?
Yeah, oily fish is usually what I tend to eat. How
How do
about
you like your
yourself?
chicken done then? I'm guilty about roast pork. I don't know about you. Like
Okay.
sao, like in Mandarin, roast pork, like crispy belly pork. That's not very good
Mm,
for you, but I'm guilty of that, and we like it so much that we make them in the house, and that's dangerous.
nice. Oh yeah, that's dangerous for sure. Um, but to be honest, I during the week when I train and when you're out playing, I usually don't. I eat because I know what I need to eat in order to perform. So it's not like if the chicken is a little bit dry, it's not like the world is gonna go under. In For me, I just need it to taste okay, and I need to know that it's the right thing for me to eat, and then I'm okay.
Yep. And then what about the girls? Like obviously eating as a family now, are they now more open to eating? I mean, obviously in Dubai, I guess you have every single cuisine available, no, in the world.
Yeah, we try to cook for the family at home as much as we can. They are actually pretty good eaters. They can eat a wide variety of foods, and they really enjoy salmon. So and broccoli as well, which I'm very happy about because then we
Wow.
can, yeah, we can really get some good things in them that way. But also, especially Vega is so active, like she's just a very active individual, so she needs to eat a lot because she's also growing, right? So and sometimes it always ends up being like third training session for me trying to feed her because she gets ideas all the time and she wants to go. So we're trying to learn to sit around the table and eat quietly, but it's not always the easiest.
Yeah, no, same. I think two of my brothers, they also have young kids exactly around the same age as Vega and Aya, and yeah, sometimes the iPad has to come out on the dining table,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like the
yeah,
tablet.
exactly. And especially if you're on the flight, and you need to just get some food, and then the iPad comes really in handy.
Yeah.
So yeah, but that's just how it is. Do you cook? Do you often eat out
Yeah.
when you're back home, or do you usually cook yourself, or
No,
how?
yeah, so I actually really enjoy cooking. I really, really enjoy cooking. But at the moment, my wife is more the legend in the kitchen. Like it's kind of like this is my kitchen now. Yeah, I think initially when we first started, like kitchen's mine, everything else is hers. But then now kitchen's hers, everything else is mine.
Great.
But yeah, so she's super easy, really really easy. And then I think we like a lot of wide variety of food. I think coming from Asia now, obviously living in Europe, I think we've also tested a lot of very different cuisines as well. And yeah, we do like Japanese, Indian particularly. We do like Indian quite a lot, and then different types of Chinese, obviously.
Great.
Yeah, and then Western food, obviously, with like European foods, was continuously trying different ones, and then we do like to get quite deep into them because I think if you talk about say Italian, you always say I don't know pizza, pasta, but then there's always different kinds of like charcuterie, cured meats, fusion style. Yeah, so it's quite a lot actually. It's good. Really
Great.
enjoy that.
Perfect.
Bubble milk tea, you a go or a no?
I never tasted it.
Bubble milk tea, no,
No, never.
ever.
I should probably because everybody drinks them, but I never tried it.
Like yeah, the tapioca, the pearls, right? Or now what they call the bubbles. So there's two types. One you chew where they explodes, and then the other one is the chewy one. Tapioca is a type of fruit, but then if you have too much, it's quite heavy on the stomach. So I
Yeah,
think they're full of carbs.
yeah, yeah. I never tried it. I'll do that when I
Okay,
retire.
true, true, true. Yeah, I'm not sure the amount of sugar in them is actually good.
Probably
It's like
not.
sometimes you go 25% sugar, but still super, super, super heavy. Okay, so I want to go through quickly. We shift away from food for now. I want to go through
Pro-
quickly some
probably,
of the
prob-
comments that we've been getting.
probably a good idea since we spent 20 minutes talking about food, but it was a fun conversation.
But it's good though. Like I think
Yeah,
people might want to know. People might want to know how our habits with oatmeals are.
for sure, for sure.
Yeah. So we've got last 10 minutes here, and then so I want to quickly talk about some of the comments that we're getting on Instagram, on YouTube, as well as on Spotify. So a lot of people are often asking, can Victor talk about his toughest rival or toughest opponent? Who is your toughest opponent in your opinion?
To
Can
be
you
honest,
single one out
I get this question all the time,
all
and
the time?
and people are, to me, there are so many good players. If you look historically, obviously Momota has been a very, very big rival of mine. I'm trailing behind him when it comes to head a lot. But I always say
Yeah.
that for sure Momota was a very, very hard, his playing style to me was very hard to cope with at that time in my career. But I would also say, just being totally honest, that I don't feel like we both played each other at the peak of our careers. You know, he peaked a little bit before I did. You know, around the Tokyo Olympics and the time after, I feel like I really peaked. And with the unfortunate events and all that thing, you know, we never really had the opportunity to play each other at our absolute peak. So we'll never know. So he has probably been my toughest rival, but I also owe a lot to Momota because he really made me push myself every single day. And to be honest, you know, even though of course I would love to have won in those 2018, 19 or whatever period where we played each other a lot, but still he also was a big motivator for me. You know, keep pushing myself, and it was extremely sad what happened with everything. And
Yep.
that's, you know, that's basically what I have to say about our rivalry, if you can say so, right? That
Yeah.
we never really played each other at an absolute peak. And the Tokyo Olympics, I was very excited to see how he would come out there, but again, we didn't,
Pressure.
yeah, we didn't really manage to play each other at our best, I think.
Yeah. And then do you have a room where you just go into it? All the photos of your rivals are just behind.
Yeah.
You go, look, I'm seeing you. I got you. You're coming down. Do you do that?
No, I think
Is there a secret room?
surprisingly little about other players. Like,
Okay. And that's how you cope with it, right?
I just try to be the best version of myself and train and prepare in the best way possible. I don't really spend as much time thinking about what everybody else is doing and how they're playing. I just try to really, you know, of course, lay a game plan before a certain opponent, but I don't really think about too much about the different matchups.
Yeah. Okay. And then, so for me, I seem to have, I think your All England final against Lizzie Jia, I think that was during March 2020, like the week before the world shut down. I think that
Yeah,
one,
yeah.
where there was no spectators, and I seem to remember the audio that comes through when you two are playing. That was incredible. That was a very different way to watch badminton.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Like you mean during during the lockdown or before? Because we played each other both the year before, just when there were still spectators and COVID just came, and then we played
Yeah.
each other the year after when we were doing lockdown.
Yeah, so no spectators.
Ah, yeah,
Pin drop quiet.
yeah, yeah,
That
yeah.
one was quite epic.
Yeah, it was quite epic. It was a good match and yeah, great match. And he played extremely well at that point. I had an extremely tough match against Anders the day before, and a late night one, and then that match afterwards. So I remember me being after that tournament, I was pretty hammered.
Pretty wrecked. So in who's the on the circuit besides? I'm assuming you're biased. You're gonna say you. Who's the hardest hitter in terms of men's singles?
I would probably say Lee Jia is the hardest smasher. Yeah,
Like so in terms of smashing. So this is always often a debate. So in terms of hitting the shuttle, I always feel there's always two types of players. One is player that can hit it fast. The second type is the one that can hit it hard. And then obviously you guys at elite level, most of you can hit hard and fast. Do you feel that way on the circuit? Some players can hit it, the shuttle goes fast, but it's easier to control because it's not as hard, or some is hits harder.
everything when it comes to like the release of the, you know, the preparation with the racket, the release of the actual shot itself, it's all very different. Like you can also have players who have a very, very hard smash, but maybe they don't have that much variation. So
Yes.
it's very, very different what you have to focus on. Me personally, I have tried to have a big arsenal of different shots, you know, cut sticks and also the hard smash. So I think right now in the world of badminton, you need to be able to play all kinds of different shots. You know, a strong smash simply isn't enough because players will find a way to neutralize that. And also playing a lot of hard smashes also takes it takes up a lot of
A
energy.
lot.
So
Yep.
you really need to figure out when to use it at the right time doing a rally as well. So yeah, there's a lot of things that goes into it and different tactics as well.
One of my friends texted me a few days ago, and he said he'd be quite keen to learn. So, for example, like say in the earlier days when wooden rackets were still around, so how much difference would it make to a pro, for example, like yourself at the top level, to be comparing shuttle speeds when you say they're using wooden rackets and then your rackets now?
Yeah,
How much difference do you think it'll make?
it will make a big difference because the wooden rackets are way heavier, and also the motion and the resistance with the material and everything is very different. Like, I would say movement wise and physically we're way better than they were back in the days. That's just the way it goes. But it would be a fun YouTube video to use like a wooden racket and then go to play. I also wanted to make a video where I challenge somebody with the Vegas short Yonex racket, the kids racket, the short one.
I brought that for our first episode. My bag did not arrive, so I brought a junior racket. I brought the cheapest Yonex junior racket, and then so that was what you were going to play with, and I was going to play with yours, and then see how many points. Well, can I beat you? So can an amateur with a top end, absolute machine racket, and a top elite athlete using the most basic racket can, obviously I know I'm going to lose, I think, but we never know. But
I think it's pretty hard because also with the strings and everything, it's not easy.
Yeah, so no, let's absolutely do that. So I had that in my suitcase. Suitcase did not arrive, and hence when you were in after training, we couldn't actually play that. So let's absolutely do that again.
Great, that's a deal.
Let's absolutely do that again. Yeah, that's a deal. Perfect. Okay, so we will quickly wrap up. So next episode, we will want to be talking about a little bit more about the business side of badminton. Not necessarily badminton, actually. Different businesses that you've had, and then some of the businesses that I'm working on at the moment.
Yeah.
Mine obviously will be in and out of badminton. But then yours, you will have a wide range of businesses that you have had your hands in. And I also want to talk about your book as well. Actually, you've not promoted your book much. Is there a reason why?
No. Basically, it has been sort of like in Denmark, there was quite a bit of promotion, but it's on Amazon now, so I haven't really promoted it that much, but it's out there and it's available, and I should probably promote it a little bit more, to be honest.
Yeah, because I think it'll be quite interesting to see what kind of a book deal that you've actually worked through, and then now, especially, it's already on Amazon. The book that I got, it said was printed in the UK, so it'd be quite interesting to see how many places they are printing in all around the world.
Yeah, for sure.
In terms of shipping as well.
Definitely. Yeah, I would love to.
Right, we'll see you again next time.
Yes, I'll see you in the next episode, CK, for sure.
So you often see us doing claps. Do you actually know what that means?
I have no idea, but it probably just means that when you're editing that you know that this is when we start.
Yes, in one way, but then also because we have multiple cameras and every one of them have audio, we can sync them to that clap.
Makes sense.
Blueberries, raspberries, avocados in. Yeah, so and then
avocado on the oatmeal.
Yeah.
Bro, I know. You gotta be kidding me. You're not putting avocado on your oatmeal.
I had a friend who puts salmon inside her oatmeal.
Salmon?
Yeah.
That's just disgusting. I'm sorry to say. I always feel like when you're out playing in Asia and stuff, if there is like at the hotel buffet, there is like a seafood evening, especially with crab, like,
Yes.
You will just see people having those crazy tables with, several crab legs all over, and I never understood that you want to work for your own food, right? Like I never, when I need to eat, if you throw on an Axelsen shirt and John McCord, I don't think people will see the difference.